Finishes, 5 in the first round, and then season to date, 40% of our finishes are actually in the first round. And that speaks to and illustrates this format and how fighters, they know what they're fighting for. They're fighting to get into the big money postseason playoffs, and we couldn't be happier where we are. So this was a great start to the kickoff of our second half of our regular season. A few other, just stats to share. Smart cage. So we're really excited about the technology that we're integrating within all PFL events. Every single fighter, every single fight, we're measuring miles per hour and other tracking and technology. So our smart cage tonight clocked 2 top speeds. First, heavy-handed, John Howard, over 26 miles per hour. And then we had Jenna Fabian. She was at 22 miles per hour. So they're really setting benchmarks. These are tools for the fighters. It's going to help them prepare for their next matchups. So we're excited about that aspect of the league and the experience that we're delivering fans, the tools that we're providing fighters, and ultimately how we're changing the game. We're leading with innovation in the PFL. Our mission is simple: to grow and advance the sport. And we're a fighters first organization. We really live that. You're going to hear from Ray Sefo, our president of fighter operations. He'll break down some of the fights for you, answer your questions about specific fights, about specific fighters. Beyond that, we have 2 more events here in Atlantic City. So we're rounding out that second half of the regular season. So next up, 2 weeks on Thursday night, July 25th, we have the featherweights and the lightweights. A great card coming up. We have 2 former champions in their respective weight classes. Lance Palmer and Nathan Schulte. So that's going to be great. We're going to come back here to AC. And then we have the heavyweights, the light heavyweights and the heavyweights, August 8th. And then ultimately, by on August 9th, we're going to know who's in. And it's a seeding process. So, when fans are getting to understand this format, every fight counts. There is no undercard in the PFL. Every fight counts. Fighters fight with purpose. There's a beginning, middle, and end to the season. And it all culminates with the best fighters fighting the best opponents. And fans are assured that. They're seeing the highest competition. And it's a journey season long. And I think you all know it'll culminate with the championship, 6 world title fights, Madison Square Garden, New Year's Eve. So before that ball drops in Times Square, we're going to have 6 new PFL champions of the 2019 season. They're going to raise their belts, and they're each going to be millionaires. And that purse is really meaningful to us. That is real money. That is life-changing money. And in this sport, that's another game changer. And for us, not only are we leading with innovation, we're recognizing the athletes. And there's a performance model. They got to earn their way through. There's no different than any other sport, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NBA or Major League Baseball. Sports fans understand this type of format. They understand that concept of earning something.
World Olympic champion for nothing, you know what I mean? And she's always going to bring the fight. She's always going to be aggressive, and that's what I love about Kayla. This that she's got that hunger, that aggressive style with her. That it doesn't matter if she's standing or taking the fight down to the ground. And if she happens to mount and be ground and pound, I hate to be one of the ladies that's on the receiving end of those ground and pounds because she throws some heavy leather. So she's always impressive. So it's good to see.
What are your thoughts on the Salabu and Glacier fight?
That was a good fight. I mean, I matched those 2 guys up because I thought it was going to be, a challenging fight. It was still a good fight, I thought, but I was expecting at least one of them to win by finish. But it didn't turn out that way. And again, like I said, sometimes you plan certain things, you put certain people together, and it doesn't turn out the way you think it would turn out. Again, look at Mashar. David Mashar fought a good fight tonight. He didn't show anything in the first regular season fight because he got caught with a body kick. I get that. But but tonight he showed up, and we saw some promising things with him, and then he was able to get the finish at the end. So again, that was a good fight.
There are quite a few welterweights with 3 points. How do you decide who goes on to the next round? Considering someone like Joao had one tonight, does he move on?
Well, Joao, see the thing is with the point decision, because I think there's 3 guys that got into made that 8th spot, if you will. So they all had 3 points, which was Andre, Henderson, and Joao. And because I think Andre, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, and Andre finished his fight earlier, hence the reason why, although he has 3 points with the other guys, so it takes Joao out because he only fought 1 fight, where Henderson and Andre fought 2 fights. So when it goes to the, what do you call it?
So yeah, the reason Joao was eliminated from that tiebreaker is that he fought once, and then he's correct about the Fialho Ferreira differentiator is that Fialho lasted longer in his loss. Fialho lasted into the 3rd round in his loss against Curtis, whereas Ferreira was knocked out in the 1st.
It gets a little bit complicated, but it's actually really exciting when you nail it down to those finer details.
Just talking about the promotion as a whole, I mean, obviously with the changeover to ESPN and the growth, and a lot of people were commenting tonight on how when you were here last year versus today,
right,
how much more people were in-house, interested, and rallied to see the fights. I mean, just from your perspective, I mean, how are you happy with the way the growth is trending?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this format works. And I've been saying it all along for the last 7.5 years. I said it works because I'm a product of this format. K1 did the same, very similar kind of format. And the differences with K1 and that and PFL is that PFL now has, we go through a regular season, playoff, and championship. And so it works. And what I love at the moment is that everybody, like in terms of the fighters, fans, managers, everybody loves the format and everybody is enjoying since from last year and then going into this year. I mean, look again tonight, 6 finishes, 5 first round finishes. It's exciting. And again, the great thing about it is that you win, you move on. And eventually you get to that title. I don't choose who fights for that title. They choose who fights for that title. And that's even more exciting is that because every guy or every lady that goes into this is that they know if they continue to win, that title bout is around the corner of $1 million.
Considering
Ask you, Sarah Kaufman has been very complimentary about the PFL, about the fact that she admires the fact that you guys take care of your fighters in a way that other promotions don't. Can you speak to how much someone as experienced as Sarah saying something like that about the PFL means to you?
Well, I think that speaks for itself. When you have someone that like Sarah Kaufman that's been around the game, that's one of the most experienced fighters that we have in the female division, who's fought pretty much everywhere. So for her to say that's saying that's telling you something that we here at PFL have fighters first, and that's always been our slogan. And just one of the things that we hold very dearly is that because at the end of the day, without your fighters, you don't have a show. And so we make sure that all fighters are well looked after. Of course, listen, I'm going to put my foot down if it's something ridiculous, but as long as it's fair for the fighter, fair for the league, we'll be sure to make it happen.
Thank you.
What was different this time versus the last time? Just
I think a lot of things. Last fight, I was fighting a very experienced opponent. It was very short notice. I found out my opponent changed 2 days before, so I didn't really have a lot of time to study. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to blame my coaches, but they were like, oh, you got this. They kind of downplayed it, I think, just to keep me relaxed. And so I kind of went in there thinking, like, she would be a lot easier than she was. And she was really tough, very smart, really good survivor. I mean, I don't think I was ever really in any danger, but just experienced girl. So, you know, I struggled to put her away, and I was not happy with that. But this time, things went a lot better. I feel like, too, I had a 6-month layoff before I fought Larissa, and this is a very short turnaround. And I come from an Olympic background where it's like you fight back to back. You know, you spend 6 weeks in Europe going from tournament to tournament to tournament. So I like that feeling of being on the go, being on the grind. Success breeds success.
Kayla, you quoted as saying that you want your opponents to never want to fight you again. And I know after the first fight, it was a little bit disappointing when you got to win.
Yes.
You feel better about that after this one?
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, I want to win in the most dominant fashion possible. I want to go out there. I don't want to get a scratch on me. I want to beat them until they want to quit, and then they don't want to ever get back in that cage with me again.
I just wanted to ask you, you mentioned a lot of the fighters that you work with in your camp.
Yeah.
You know, how have you felt that they have impacted your evolution as a fighter and as a person over the last year?
I mean, just, you know, monumentally. I mean, to get to train next to the people that I train next to get to watch Amanda go and reach such a pinnacle of the sport, or watch Dustin Poirier go and reach such a pinnacle of the sport, and be next to them every day on the mats is like, if they can do it, I can do it, you know? Even just training with Amanda, like, she's so calm, she's so relaxed, she's so, like, just naturally, and, like, I don't even think I do it on purpose, but I start to mimic her. And then I become a little more calm and a little more focused and a little more relaxed. And so it's like, I don't know, it's just this, like, cesspool of excellence, you know? We good?
I had to let them know, like, listen, like, you are a powerful striker, but I'm not scared to stay in the pocket with you. You know, I stayed in the with some of the best strikers in the world. Thiago Alves, Baha Zazala, Uriah Hall. You know, and I gave them, if I didn't beat Uriah Hall, beat Baha Zazala, who was the K1 kickboxing champion, and I went toe-to-toe with Thiago Alves, which I took the decision striking. So I had to let them know, listen, I respect you, but I am not scared to stand with you. And tonight you see why.
Being a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and you take master ground, you saw your jiu-jitsu display, especially handling the wrestling very strong as Ray. Like, talk me through that. Were you guys drilling a lot of that in camp?
Yes. After Magan and Manoff took us down and did what he did to us, I went back to more of my wrestling base. You know, I am a black belt on the Dave Ginsburg Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm about to get my first degree black belt soon. I'm a black belt to get my degree on top of that. What it was is I went more to a wrestling base and not really depending on my jiu-jitsu, working on the streets and stuff. So tonight was just about getting on the street and being more of a wrestling-based fighter, which I believe I have better wrestling than my jiu-jitsu. Just really used it and it worked. You know, I heard my coach, no, don't sit there, get up, scramble, and just kind of grab back to the feet and worked. So it was really effective, if most anything.
Being highly decorated in the world MMA, obviously I overheard you said you feel like you're on top of the world. We've seen you fought pretty much for years. How does it feel to like have that resurgence and being in this organization?
It feels great. It feels awesome. It was just one of those best feelings I can't describe. It was just to prove to myself, not only to prove to my camp and prove to the world I'm still relevant, but to prove to myself that I still could be, the #1 contender, the next big thing, that I'm still at 36 years old, I'm still could be able to knock someone out, young kids, to let them know, listen, I might be a little older, I have some experience, but I'm still be a force to reckon with. So it was an honor to show that and showcase that, and to show the PFL of all leagues, especially what they're doing for the whole MMA community, with making us not only like cage fighters. I'm sick of being called, cockfighter. No, we cage fight, we're professional athletes, and that's why I like that. And now I have them the same, just like it's the PFL, the NFL, even the PFL now. So we're looked at more as athletes, meaning other athletes, and it's about time. And I thank PFL for that.
Hey John, how do you like
Earlier about the fact that you feel like it's finally getting to the point where fighters are being recognized as other athletes. So what does it mean to you as a veteran of this sport that the top 2 MMA organizations are now on ESPN and getting the kind of coverage that they're getting? What does it mean to you as a fighter that now in 2019 it's actually on that level on a network like ESPN?
I'm nothing but appreciative. Thank you to ESPN Plus, all the coverage. Thank you for finally taking the sport that was looked at as a savage sport, make it into a professional sport. Thank y'all so much, because for years and years we have talked about like all that's an established sport. It was this, it was but my negativity. But now we looked at as a comparison, as like I said, to the NFL. Now you get the NFL, but now you get the PFL. So it's just a comparison. It's appreciative, to look at as a professional athlete. So like me being long enough to see the rise of it, I just want to say thank y'all. And Dr. the press conference, ESPN being here and all this is amazing. This is amazing. I can only thank God for the strides MMA made in this world.